everybody, welcome to a lingua. Thank you for coming here to support experimental music. My name is Marcus Amaker. You can find me on Instagram at Charleston Poet. You can also find me on Bandcamp. I record under the name Tape Loop, and I use that name because I started making music when I was 10 years old and used nothing but cassette tapes. So I'm going back to that energy. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this experience. I am a father, I am a husband, I am a spirit in drag, and I am happy to be in this space with you. Being a part of this experience. I am because I started making music when I was 10 years old and used nothing but cassette tapes. So I'm going back to that. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this experience. I am a father, I am a husband, I am a spirit in drag, and I am happy to be in this space with you. At Charleston Poet. You can also find me on Bandcamp. I record under the name Tape Loop. And I use that name experience. I am a father, I am a husband, I am a spirit in drag, and I am happy to be in this space with you.
Every time Taylor's in the building, then she needs to be here every week.
He's voicing concerns that administration officials have had for weeks about the stated plans of Israel to go into Rafah. And their biggest concern is that they actually don't have a plan to protect Palestinian civilians who aren't members of Hamas or to deal with the humanitarian implications. And they base that on how previous
Swift made her fearless return to Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium, which she sold out twice last summer to cheer on NFL tight end Travis Kelce.
I told her, I've seen you rock the stage in Arrowhead. You might have to come see me rock the stage in Arrowhead.
Wearing red, of course, next to Kelce's mom, Donna.
Well, we're into this war that's gone far longer than the United States had hoped. And I think whether or not it was the right call.
This would be the biggest.
Who wants to talk about football?
This is your read.
Taylor Swift spent her second Sunday in a row watching football. Probably her second Sunday in life watching football. She was at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey watching her rumored beau, Travis Kelce, and the Kansas City Chiefs take on the New York Jets.
Announced that the U.S. more aid. So it just shows how bad the situation has gotten, and I think it further spotlights the concerns.
Was spotted in quarterback Patrick Mahomes' private box with Blake Love.
She was
constructing a mobile. It shows how bad the situation has gotten, and I think it further spotlights the concerns that the United States has and many other countries, including Israel's neighbors, about
some celebrity pals. You know she's got her celebrity posse, right? The singer was spotted in quarterback Patrick Mahomes' private box with Blake Love.
For millions of Palestinians living in Gaza. And it's a complicated military operation because Hamas, quite frankly, hides behind the civilian population. So dropping aid from the air is not really efficient or optimal. It just shows how desperate they are.
This would be the biggest.
Who wants to talk about football? Taylor Swift spent her second Sunday in a row watching football. Probably her second Sunday in life watching football. She was at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey watching her rumored beau, Travis Kelce, and the Kansas City Chiefs take on the New York Jets. Swift was also joined by...
announced that the U.S. Navy and military will be constructing a mobile port, if you will, to get more aid. This just shows how bad the situation has gotten, and I think it further spotlights the concerns that the United States has and many other countries, including Israel's neighbors, about
Some celebrity pals. You know she's got a celebrity posse, right? This singer was spotted in quarterback Patrick Mahomes' private.
Part 1. Black holes can bend a universe. No amount of light can escape a galaxy's human-like shift toward darkness. 1 minute on the edge of a black hole is 700 years on Earth. The pull of desolation is too heavy. The path ahead has spun out of control. The cosmic flow becomes a cataclysm while light, sound, and energy get warped, and every single piece of matter is torn apart. Part 2. Does anyone find it ironic that a website will ask you to prove you are not a robot? Does anyone know what it's like to not have the energy to check the box? Does anyone know what it's like to not feel human? I've had moments when I've realized that I've been plugged in and programmed for sadness so long that anxiety attacks and attaches itself to my thoughts like a computer virus. It clings, corrupts, and disrupts the way I feel about any and everything I touch, like those new majestic wrinkles around my eyes or the iPhone screen I keep tapping to somehow prove that I am not a robot, to somehow prove that I matter. Part 3. The sky never takes a bad picture, even though it is constantly shifting the way it looks. Its beauty somehow perfectly moves through time, seasons, and every single wind of change. I hope that if you dream about being the sky, it will not be a nightmare. I hope that you will not think of the stars on your black face as pimples, because you are a force of light matter simply shadowed by a mountain of heavy. You are the sunflower still growing in the backyard of a funeral home. You are its first taste of cool rain after a South Carolina summer. If you can't imagine the sun saying, "Take another photo, I wasn't shining at the right angle," I invite you to reflect and remind yourself the fact that it shines at all matters. The fact that it shines on you matters. Part 4. Sports allows men the permission they need to talk to each other with any kind of emotional depth. If fatherhood doesn't link them, then a football will. As hard stats fall from our mouths like notes of a hard rock guitar, because music is also one of the few ways men will talk to each other with any kind of emotional depth, with loud American bullhorn breaths, as if debating who the greatest football player of all time is the only thing that matters, as if debating who the greatest guitar player of all time is the only thing that matters. Part 5. It's ironic. All of space becomes an endless boundary when gravity's pull grabs the body of a planet and forces it into a decaying downward spiral, spinning, reminiscing, reflecting, and holding on to time before it is lost forever. When that happened, the years of my life became quicksand, slipping through the branches of my hands because my fingers started looking like limbs from an old pine tree, because I think it's weird that sunflowers look up at me for wisdom, because my voice suddenly deepened into an almost earthly tone, too cool to spit fire, but not too ashamed to gnaw on the ashes of the past. I'm often too preoccupied with changing the furniture in my prison cell mind to somehow get a better view of the world, but I'm smart enough to not take myself too seriously, because even after zooming in on every little thing that matters, there's a part of me that can imagine this galaxy as one grain of sand on an endless beach. I can zoom out and think about a black hole and its one-way love affair with planets. I have the hope that on the other side, an alien world will worship the same God. And I can consider all the possibilities, all the paradoxes of knowing that everything that I think may matter might not matter at all. Again, you can find me on Instagram at Charleston Poet. You can find me on Bandcamp at tapeloop.bandcamp.com. I recorded this whole set, and I will be putting it up on my Bandcamp in the near future. Peace to all of you. Be kind to yourselves.